So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are finally back getting into the rebuild challenges. It has been a minute since I've done one. I've seen some comments recently asking for them, and today we have the no free agency challenge. This is a challenge I have done in years past. It's really self-explanatory, quite honestly, but there are a few things that could be clarified, so let me do that real quick. Basically, we're going to go ahead and do a fantasy draft. I'll probably make the first, I'd say 3 to 5 draft picks. I don't know how much of that I'll actually show you guys, but if any player is on an expiring contract and entering free agency, I lose him for nothing. I basically cannot retain him in any way, shape, or form, meaning my goal is going to be to make a lot of trades, hopefully get guys on multi-year deals. And this is actually harder, if I remember this correctly. This is not an easy challenge, even though it may seem like it. I'm super excited to be getting back into some, official challenges, if you will. Of course, I can always go through my old playlists, see what I haven't done, but I do want to hear from you guys. Let me know down below in the comment section. You guys are very creative. I've come to learn that over the years. So anything you guys really want to see, whether it be challenge, new series, whatever it may be, let me know down below in the comment section. But I'm happy to be back doing these. I hope you guys are excited to see them. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first order of business obviously has to be picking a team. I'm not going to have any say in which team we actually, end up choosing because I don't want you guys to think I'm cheating, anything like that. But we're just going to go ahead, scroll through all these teams right here, keeping my eyes completely shut, kind of like the trading every player rebuilds. We'll stop this one right about now, and our team is going to be the San Antonio Spurs. Clearly, we're not actually going to have any of these players, but we do have the Spurs, and I am excited to see what pick we're going to have. Also, I did remember to turn off previously traded draft picks, so we're good there. Sometimes I forget these things. We have the 5th overall pick. I can see it right there. So Luka goes number 1. Would have been obviously a fantastic long-term option. So would Jokic, so would Giannis, and Joel Embiid. So all of these guys are really kind of good long-term options and prospects for me, but we have a fantastic array of players that we can choose from here. And honestly, there are only 2 names that are really jumping out, maybe 3. There are a few names here that are jumping out at me, and kind of my criteria, if you will, is I want to get players that I'm not able to get too often, like in normal rebuilds. Like, no disrespect, I guess nobody really here that I get very often, but like, no disrespect to, like, I don't know, Paul George or Jalen Brunson or Kyrie, but like, these are guys I can trade for, so they're kind of out of the picture. Now, let me look at this a few ways. One, LeBron James is expiring. That's not going to happen. I don't want to discredit the greatest player of all time, second greatest, whatever the hell you have him, probably out of the equation. KD's 35, doesn't regress like crazy, but I am a little bit nervous, and I think long-term potential-wise, there's some better options. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is very high on my board. He's definitely an MVP candidate this season. He's been unbelievable. Steph Curry is locked up long-term, but he's also 35. Not going to regress too much. I might have to do it. But there's also the argument saying, hey, he's only here for 2 years then, because he has a player option, but we all know damn well he's going to decline it. So, you know what? I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be my pick. I think that one makes the most sense for us. I will sim up to our next pick. I mean, if this was an actual fantasy draft, maybe I take Tatum. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that right now. But we have our point guard of the future. It's going to be very nice for the remainder of this video. So now we have to kind of get into some of the other contracts. I mean, Darius Garland would have been fantastic. I guess maybe I can play SGA at the 2 because Garland is, again, on a long-term contract. Drew Holiday is not. CJ McCollum is. I think I'd probably prefer Garland. Rudy Gobert could be a good center option. Miles Turner, only 2 years. So I basically need 3 years because a lot of the times, especially players that are this good, if they have a player option in that 3rd year, they're going to decline it anyways. So yeah, I mean, are any like really young players here? Because I don't know, like Jalen Duren definitely could be exciting. Jay Will is here. See Jay Will or J Dub? I get so fucking confused. Let's see. I'm just thinking like young prospects that have a lot of potential because sometimes they actually really, strangely enough, don't go as high as they probably would, like in a hypothetical, if the NBA was to actually get redrafted. So I see Jabari Smith Jr. here. He could be an option. Brandon Miller. Okay, let's just see in terms of like 21-year-olds. Let's just see. Okay, Mark Williams. Yeah, none of these. I mean, Jalen Green, Jaden Ivey, Ben Mathurin, Josh Giddey, pedophile, Jonathan Kuminga, Jalen Johnson, Jabari Walker. Okay. None of those are really exciting me too much. So, you know what? Maybe a controversial pick, but he's only 23 years old, clearly on a long-term deal. I've drafted him, or not drafted, but I've traded for him before, and he's immensely talented. So SGA is going to go ahead and play the 2 guard for me. I don't think that's the end of the world. Now we have our option here with the 3rd pick. And let's just see in terms of players that are established and been in this league for a while, because there definitely are some options here. So I'm good with guards. I need small forward, power forward, center. And looking at the options here, I mean, Draymond's long-term, Anthony Simons, but he's a guard. Lopez, Bobby Portis. So it might be time to go youth movement just because a lot of these guys are, again, longer-term contract. Michael Porter Jr. is an exciting option as well. RJ Barrett, Devin Vassell. Okay. I know this is taking forever, and I'm going to make the next 2 picks. I'm not going to show them to you guys, but I'm just curious. Derek Lively. he's my guy. He's my guy. He develops well, and that's a good pick. I'll see you guys with the team. I've gone ahead and completed the draft. I did go ahead and make 10 picks. I only showed you guys 3, so let's go over the team, see some of the work that we did here. So starting at the point guard spot, Darius Garland is going to be my starting point guard. He was our second pick, if you will. I went ahead and drafted Amen Thompson in like the 5th round. He was still sitting there. Former 4th overall pick. I guess I can't really say former because it is, his rookie season. But you understand. He's 20 years old. I think a worst case scenario, what he's going to turn into for me, I guess I should say, could just be a trade piece because there is some positions we do probably need to upgrade at some point. But Thompson is on his rookie contract. Clearly he's going to be here the entire time. And also, I didn't explain it, but I'm assuming you probably all figured out that if I have his team option, I can bring him back. It's not really extending him a contract. I moved SGA from the 1 to the 2. He's clearly going to be here long term. He's the best player on this team. I'm very excited to build around him. We went ahead and drafted Anthony Black as well. Kind of same situation here that we had with Thompson. He's a guy who's young on his rookie contract. Hopefully can develop well, and again, worst case scenario, maybe a trade piece. I didn't draft Damian Lee, but he is here. Good shooter. Small forward spot. I went ahead and drafted Cam Johnson. I think that was round 4. He is on a 4-year contract, which of course kind of fits the criteria that we were looking for when we went ahead and drafted players. I did the same with Duncan Robinson, only a 2-year contract, but he's going to be valuable enough for me. I was just kind of looking over the options I had there. He kind of fit what we were looking for. Then I actually didn't draft Cody Martin, but the game, I guess, maybe kind of bought into what I was trying to do. Got a guy who had a multi-year contract. Julian, I can't say his last name. I think it's Champagny, but he's here. Also on a 3-year deal. Didn't draft him. Nice to have, though. Power forward spot, we are a little weak. I'm not going to lie to you. PJ Washington was a pick that I made. I think I drafted him 4th, 5th round, something like that. But he's on a 3-year contract. Again, kind of exactly what we were looking for, and he was probably clearly my best option there. I also drafted DFS on a 2-year contract. Probably going to be here for 1 year. We'll go from there. And then the center spot, Derek Lively, is going to be fantastic for us. 12th overall pick out of Duke, rookie contract, exactly what we're looking for. Got Paul Reed here as well. Actually, I believe signed an offer sheet with the Utah Jazz, and I believe Philadelphia clearly went on to match, but 3-year deal's nice. I didn't draft Orlando Robinson. So that is the team. In terms of trades I can make right now, I don't necessarily see any major moves coming, but maybe something small. If not, I'll just see you guys at the rotation. This is a deal here we're making with the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's really only one purpose to this deal. It's so we have another trade asset potentially, or maybe even a backup center option this offseason. Because Charles Bassey's only 22 years old. He's 75 overall, and he is on a 3-year contract, which is, of course, kind of exactly what we're looking for. So, as I mentioned, I didn't draft Damian Lee. He's an expiring deal. Literally would have had to let him go this offseason for nothing. And you know what? I don't really want to do that. So, him and a second-round pick are going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Charles Bassey's going to come here for likely what will only be 1 season. He's not going to play, but he's going to be on the roster. And then I might do the same thing. I mean, I could kind of wait with Robinson because I want to make sure that everybody here is not expiring, because there's no point in me keeping somebody on this roster, especially if they're not playing, who's an expiring contract. So it doesn't appear there's going to be. Everybody's going to stay. Let's set the rotation. After a small trade, we are ready to kick off year 1 here in San Antonio. The starting 5 is looking pretty damn good, if you ask me. Darius Garland and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a backcourt would be super fun to watch. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Cam Johnson here at the 3, PJ Washington. I'm actually starting him. The game suggested that I go ahead and start Dorian Finney-Smith. I think there's just a little bit more potential, clearly age-wise, overall-wise here with Washington. So I'm going to give him the nod. And then Derek Lively clearly going to be our starting center. The bench unit is an interesting unit. Amen Thompson going to be my 6th man. He's getting the most minutes off the bench because I want him to develop. Duncan Robinson not too far behind him. We have Anthony Black in here, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Paul Reed kind of rounding it out. So, again, this is going to be an interesting season for a couple reasons. One, because it could be the final season that Greg Popovich is here. Sometimes retires at the end of year 1. Now, if he does, maybe I override it. Maybe I don't. We'll see. But to be honest with you, this is a very interesting mix of players who are already established kind of stars in this league, some young talent, and some really solid role players. So, gonna be fun. I am super pumped up to see how it goes. I think we've had a really good start to this video. I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. So our first season here in San Antonio has come to an end. Luka Doncic is your MVP. It looks very strange seeing him in a Trailblazers jersey. I can't lie to you. We went 46-36, which overall wise, with the way this team's built, the talent we have, doesn't really feel too bad. You kick in the fact fantasy draft, the league tends to even out a little bit, obviously. I think this is livable. This is doable, if you will. So I'll take it. A lot of work to do still, I'm guessing. Luka MVP. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Anthony Simon, 6th man of the year. He is in New York. For I'm also a depoy. Austin Reeves, most improved. Oh, my God. De'Aaron Fox. And Tibbs is your coach of the year. Thibs, however the hell you want to say it. Okay, let's dive into these standings real quick. We got the 5 seed here in the Western Conference. We have the Denver Nuggets in round 1. Now, I have no idea who's on any of these teams, but we will find out when we do go on to face them. Let's check out our numbers on the season, see how everybody played. SGA, nearly 30 points a game, 5.5 boards, 6.5 assists. The man was 59% from the field. And third, okay, that's got to come up a little bit. But nonetheless, I can live with that. It's a fantastic season at him. Garland was an elite second option. Cam Johnson doing his thing. PJ Washington, Duncan Robinson, Amen Thompson, Derek Lively, Reed Smith, Anthony Black, Jim Penny. Rebounds a game is going to be Derek Lively, and assists is Darius Garland. So, as I mentioned, we have the Denver Nuggets here in the first round of the playoffs. Let's check out their squad. Tyrese Maxey, Zach LaVine, Jaylen Brown, Jarris Walker, Marvin Bagley. Interesting. It feels like this is an interesting team. You know what? I think we actually match up well with this group. I'm going to be interested to see how this series goes because I think we can actually beat this team. I do. We're 1-1 right now. We go up 2-1 in the series. We go up 3-1 in the series. We close them out in 5. I had a good feeling. It paid off. Moving on to the next round. It is us and the Oklahoma City Thunder. We just cannot avoid the Thunder in these Western Conference rebuilds. Lonzo, LeVert, Trey Murphy, Siakam, Anthony Davis is here. They got Onyeka Okongwu, Isaiah Jackson. Derek Lively is going to have his hands full with this front court. Him and PJ Washington are hopefully up to the challenge, but that's a very good team. We drop game 1. Do win game 2 and lose 3. Tie it up. We're just going back and forth right now. Okay, so we've gone win-loss, or excuse me, loss-win, loss-win, loss-win. Hopefully this isn't a loss. I don't know. It is. Fuck. Okay, you know what? A second round exit is honestly not too bad for this team. Oh my God, De'Aaron Fox. It is definitely something we can work on, and De'Aaron Fox is playing out of this fucking world. And I'm very happy about that, because again, I do think this team has a lot of talent. I think there's a lot of work we can still do. So player retirements. Oh my God, LeBron was a Celtic. Al Horford, Thad Young, Lopez, Batum, Jeff Green. George Hill in there as well. George Hill's not on the team right now. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm going to do this once. You can get mad at me if you want. There's no way Popovich realistically retires at the end of the season. I mean, the man just... I should have done it with LeBron, too. That's my fault. Yeah, I typically do it with LeBron. I was just too focused on my own damn narratives, my own damn priorities. That's my fault. I'll take that L. You can get mad at me. Okay, draft lottery. As I mentioned before this video, we turned off previously traded draft picks, so everybody hypothetically should have their own draft pick. It is the Hawks, the Warriors, the Kings, the Suns, and the Grizzlies. Let's see staff signing. I mean, we're good with Pop. Actually, it's weird because we overrode his retirement, which means he's going to be back, but we're not going to be paying him anything. I'm not going to change it at all, but again, you can get mad at me if you want. Okay, the draft is actually relatively important. We do have the 22nd overall pick in round 1 and round 2. Now, there's a couple things we can do here because clearly, if we look at this team, everybody could be back from last season, right? There's not a trade we have to make. But I also think there's a world out there where maybe going ahead and getting a little bit younger at the backup power forward option wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, especially considering that he does have a player option after the season and likely will be departing, probably not accepting it, meaning I can't bring him back. So let's see if we can work on some sort of trade, maybe upgrade this position. The 4th overall pick is currently owned by the Phoenix Suns, and I would like to have it here in San Antonio. So Dorian Finney-Smith, these are the 2 draft picks we have this year for number 4 overall. How about we shake hands and make a deal? I didn't think so. This is also one of the reasons why we traded for a guy like Charles Bassey, who although didn't play here this year, definitely could have some impact maybe in a trade. So do you want to shake hands now? Can I include Martin in a deal? I doubt they have the money. Oh, they do have the money. Okay, and then maybe just like a second. Oh my God, I cannot believe that word. Okay, so we're thinking power forward here. Matas Buzelis is on the top of my head. I'm really hoping he doesn't go in this top 3 right now. Ron Holland to the Warriors. Please don't fuck me, Sacramento. They did not. Okay, which means Matas Buzelis, says Matt for God knows what fucking reason, but he is officially going to be a San Antonio Spur. Whether he's starting a backup, I'm still TBD, but he's on this team. Team player options, we have none. And yeah, I mean, we can't really do much in here in free agency. Doesn't really matter anyways. I will sim through it after this. Just want to confirm we have nobody here. So I'm thinking of making an upgrade in the starting lineup. I think it probably has to be either the power forward spot or the small forward spot. Nothing wrong with some of the guys that we do have here, but ultimately I would like to make an upgrade. So let's see what we can come up with. Okay, we just pulled off a big trade with the Chicago Bulls, and we added Kristaps Porzingis to this team. We sent out Duncan Robinson, PJ Washington. I think it was 3 first-round draft picks to the Bulls, and Tengus Pingus is officially coming back here. So, I mean, at 7'2", I don't know. Can you call him a power forward? I mean, he started his career in New York playing the power forward spot, but the man can shoot the basketball, and he's on a multi-year contract, which was important. So, something that I do need to note, and I think this is kind of what I talked about at the beginning of this video, kind of noting how much harder this challenge is than maybe it really seems, is the fact that, I have, 11, 13 players on this roster. I can't sign anybody and then trade them, and I can't go ahead and trade away 2 players on this roster and expect to replace them with 1 person in free agency. I can't do that. So Clearly, the game's going to go ahead and sign some players for me automatically. I mean, you have to have 15 guys in the roster, but I can't include them in trades. I can't have them getting minutes. So that's where the real challenge comes in right now. And I only say that because now we kind of have a little bit of a hole at our backup small forward spot. There's nothing wrong with Julian Champagny, but ultimately I need an upgrade there. I need somebody a little bit better. So I'm going to actually combine Robinson and Champagny in a trade and hopefully find somebody on a multi-year deal to be some sort of backup small forward for me. So Champagny, Robinson, and then I'm actually going to do a second. I want to hang on to my final first-round pick. So Terrence Davis, 1-year contract. It's unfortunate. He kind of fits what we were looking for. Same with Amir Coffey. But, yeah, I mean, if not, I guess Champagny's probably going to have to be my guy because he's on a multi-year deal. I mean, Dean Wade could come in. It's not the worst option in the world. Jalen McDaniels, 1-year contract. Would have definitely taken him. Alvarado, not really a small forward. So, you know, it comes down to, would I prefer Dean Wade and then maybe move Buzelis back to the 3? And I think I would, just because Tingus Pingus doesn't really need a significant backup. And we got a guy here on a multi-year deal as one of these guys in Robinson is expiring. So I think this trade makes sense for us. I'm happy with that. And yeah, I think at this point we are kind of all set to move forward. I'm going to go ahead and move Buzelis to the backup small forward spot. And I think everybody else is I'll double check the contracts. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. After losing in the second round of the playoffs last year, we went ahead and made another major trade, adding Kristaps Porzingis to an already really good and really talented team. And I think this could be a championship level team. I think the group fits well together. And I'm hoping seriously this can be the year because I don't want to head into the final season with no championship. That makes me nervous. Darius Garland, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander remain our backcourt. Cam Johnson, I don't want to say is like the weak link in the starting lineup because that feels a little dismissive, and I don't necessarily think that's true, but if I was to move somebody come this offseason, it's probably him. But we're not going to jump to conclusions yet. We're not going to do that. Tingus Pingus, new addition here, is our starting power forward, and then Derek Lively, our starting center. Bench unit, Men Thompson going to move. Actually, no, he was the sixth man last year. He's still the sixth man. Anthony Black has bumped up a spot. Matas Buzelis here as our backup 3. Paul Reed, the backup center, and Dean Wade, our backup 4. So these are the 10 guys that are going to be playing minutes. Now, if somebody hypothetically fouls out, sure, one of Aaron Holiday, O'Shea Brissett, Frank Ntilikina, Joe Harris, maybe they get like 3 minutes. I'm not going to go ahead and trade one of my starters here just for an 11th man so that one of these 4 actually doesn't have to play. I'm not going to do that. So the 10 guys that you see are playing are all players that I've traded for. I have not signed them, and or I've drafted, obviously. And they are all on multiple year deals. I have gone ahead and double checked. So I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. Such a beautiful way to wrap up the second season here in San Antonio, as SGA is your MVP. We won 61 games on the year, by the way. 28, 5.5, nearly 8 assists, 2 steals a game. Still wish that 3-point percentage would come up a bit, but he was really good from the field again. And yeah, MVP. Nicole Toppich, Rookie of the Year, was actually taken 1 pick before we drafted Matas Buzelis. Anthony Simon, 6th Man of the Year once again. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year once again. Fuck off. LaMelo Ball, Clutch Player of the Year. And Popovich does get Coach of the Year. Maybe going out on top. We get the man a championship. I don't know. We were 11 games up with the New Orleans Pelicans for the 1 spot here in the Western Conference. Here's a look at the East if you would like to see it. Okay, numbers. Let's check it out. How did everybody play? I mean, SGA obviously going to lead us in scoring, winning an MVP. I've asked this question before, and I've definitely proposed this question, if you will. And I think maybe somebody answered it one time, but I'm just trying to think. Has a player ever won an MVP while not being the leading scorer on his team? My gut reaction says there was probably an MVP back in like 1948. That actually was the league even around then. You understand what I'm saying? That probably didn't lead his team in points. But like anybody, when there was like a camera for a television, has anybody ever won an MVP while not leading their team in points? I'm just trying to think. Like no, I don't think it's happened. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Darius Garland, number 2. Kristaps Porzingis kind of came in as a really reliable third option, kind of replacing what Cam Johnson gave us last year as a third. Well, not replacing, but improving upon. Buzelis, Thompson, Lively, Reed, Anthony Black, Dean Wade. Brissett, yeah. So, I mean, it really doesn't look like, I mean, you understand. I mean, he played, 7 games, averaged 1 minute in those 7 games. Not the end of the world, or I guess 1 minute throughout the game. You understand. Rebounds, Derek Lively, and assist, SGA. So, let's get to the playoffs. Round 1, us in the Memphis Grizzlies. LaMelo Ball is here. Just won Clutch Player of the Year. Devin Vassell, Andrew Wiggins, Jalen Johnson. Şengün is here. I'm super high on Şengün. Okay, let's go through the first round and hopefully not lose, because I would like to get a championship. Okay, don't do this to me, 2K. Thank you. That's a big game right there. Okay, 2-2 right now. It's a best of 3. We go up 3-2, and we're moving on to the West semis. Taking on the Denver Nuggets, a team that we did beat last year. Who did they have hit the starting point guard spot? Whoever it was not Trey Mann. No disrespect to Trey Mann. There's somebody a little bit better. Levine and Jaylen Brown are still here. You got Walker and Hartenstein now in the starting lineup. Tari Eason here as well. I like him. Moses Moody. Okay, let's see if we can beat this. I think this team is beatable. Okay, come on. We're not doing this. Are you fucking kidding me? We're 2-2. Go up 3-2. Game 7 on the line, and oh my god, that was stressful. Okay, Western Conference Finals. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Keldon Johnson, Jason Tatum. Oh my fucking god. What is this team? This team is bonkers. Okay, I don't know if we win this series. I'm not going to lie to you. We do start out really well. They do win Game 3 and Game 4. We do win 5, and we are in the finals, baby. SGA Western Conference Finals MVP, and we're facing Giannis in the New Orleans Hornets. Holy shit, that's a throwback. Charlotte Hornets here in the NBA Finals. Yeah, Drew Holiday, Dyson Daniels, Zaire Williams, Giannis, Capella. So you know what? Why the hell is Jalen Duren not starting over Capella? Not that either of them would be fantastic spacing next to Giannis, but I don't know. I just like Jalen Duren. Okay, finals time. We win Game 1, we win Game 2, we win Game 3, and is it going to be a clean sweep of Giannis and the rest of the Hornets? I don't know. I'd take it. I'd like to get this done year 2. Oh my god, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. There's 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They have 63 points. What the hell, man? See you guys in there. Typically, I spend this time during gameplay kind of actually talking about the team I'm rebuilding, but since this is a fantasy draft, I'm not going to talk about the Spurs because clearly this really isn't the Spurs, and I don't know if anybody wants to hear that. But so I guess what we'll chat about is some of the challenges. I mean, this is kind of where like a live stream would be clutch. What are some challenges you guys want to see? I know I kind of opened the video saying let me know any other ideas you guys have, but seriously, let me know anything you want to see, because of course I am always looking for like the video ideas that you guys have, stuff that you guys want to see. Of course, I can always come up with my own shit. I mean, it is my job at the end of the day. But, you know, sometimes I like to do things that I've never done before. And I know a lot of you guys do have different ideas. And I know a lot of your other favorite 2K creators have ideas. So, for the most part, I don't really think a lot of us get mad if, you know, people do each other's videos. Not to say I'm trying to rip off anybody's content or anything, but you know, you can only get so creative in the my NBA, my league kind of space. So if there's anything that any of them have done, and you really want to see me do it, of course, let me know down below in the comment section. Full credit will be given, don't you worry. But yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of different things that I haven't done, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't really watch other 2K creators, quite honestly, because I don't have time, not because I don't want to, but I just don't have time to do it. Like, the free time that I do have is typically watching actual basketball, not basketball videos. So, yeah, I mean, I would just say this. Anything you guys really want to see, whether it's something somebody's already done, something new that you've completely made up in your head, or something maybe I did even 4 years ago, because I know we got a lot of OGs that still watch the videos, which I do appreciate. Let me know down below in the comment section. I would be happy to do it. I really would. So, I love challenges. They're a lot of fun. We'll do one more offensive possession. I'm just going to let Jones score just back up. Please, just shoot. Seriously? Shoot. Shoot the basketball. Thank you. Okay, let's do one. How the hell did you miss that? What is happening? Okay, thank you, Jalen. All right, final possession here. Clearly, obviously awesome to win a championship in year 2. I don't know if this roster will be exactly identical heading into the final regular season. I mean, there's only so much I can do because I can't sign anybody out of free agency. So maybe I'll make a smaller end trade, whether it's an upgrade at our backup power forward or whatever it may be. We'll do it. But I'll see you guys at the finals MVP first. A clean sweep of the Charlotte Hornets goes ahead and closes out a championship for us here in year 2. SGA won regular season MVP, and he also won finals MVP. How many times has that happened? There's another question if any of you smart basketball people know. How many times has a guy won regular season MVP and finals MVP in the same season? Because Steph would have done it, right? No, he didn't do it. Because he didn't win an finals MVP until 2022. That's ridiculous. I was going to say Jokic, but he didn't win an MVP last year. It's insane. All right, Kyle Lowry, Conley, Kevin Love, Eric Gordon. Oh my God, these are just a bunch of players from my childhood. Sad, man. Popovich officially goes out, meaning I can't override his retirement. It's unfortunate. Steph Curry, only Hall of Fame. Oh, wait, what? How did I not even see that? I've never seen Steph Curry retire, but he does. All right, man, that's crazy. Draft lottery time. We're not going to have a lottery pick. I didn't really think that, you know, any of our picks throughout this video were ever going to turn into lottery picks, so I trade a lot of them. We have to go ahead and find a new head coach. There's nothing about coaching free agency, so don't give me that nonsense. I'm going to go ahead, and I like Joe Mazzulla. I do. I think he has pretty good ratings. And honestly, as a coach, I've never really signed, but just to be safe, I'll make an offer to Stauffer. You never know. Then I do have one last offer, and I'll actually give it. I like Mark Daignault as well, so let's go ahead and offer him one. So hopefully one of them accepts. We get Mike Stauffer. I'll go ahead and take him. It's weird. It's very hard. It's way harder to sign coaches here, like real coaches, not named Mike Stauffer, than it is to sign free agents, which I feel like is a little bit strange, but I guess maybe that's just the state of 2K. We have no draft picks this year. That's fine by me. We head up to team player options, so this is what we're allowed to do. We can bring back guys on team options, or if they accept a player option, whatever, we're allowed to do that. So clearly I'm going to bring all of them back. Obviously, don't have any free agents or qualifying offers because we did that intentionally, but there's nobody here. Not that like I'm going to sign anybody who's going to play anyways. So now comes the discussion, is there an upgrade out there? I mean, do we want to make an upgrade maybe at the backup power forward spot, which I think would probably be maybe the one and only spot I want to upgrade? I mean, maybe there's a Cam Johnson move as well, but if I trade Cam Johnson, it's going to be significantly harder because like if I want to make a serious upgrade with Cam Johnson, including the draft capital that I do have, which is not a lot, by the way, I mean, I probably have to include at least one other player, meaning that I'm only going to have 9 guys, not 8 guys that can, or not 10 guys that can play. So I'm just going to roll with Cam Johnson. I think he fits his role well. But Dean Wade is somebody I would not mind upgrading, and clearly heading into the final regular season here, we don't have to worry as much about any of these players' contracts. So let's see. Are there any power forwards or small forwards? Because I can always... George is Niang now. How much is... Shit, I should have checked. How much is he making? Because I'll just sort it by... He's making 6.5. Okay, let's just go player finder. We're going to go small forward / power forward, making a maximum of $6.5 million, which is probably not a long list. It's probably just going to be a bunch of free agents at this point, but does not hurt to look. So let's just see. Who is here? First contract is Jaime Jaquez Jr. Probably not going to happen. Tari Eason is a guy that we were just talking about. I think would be a fantastic replacement. So I know Wade's not going to have a lot of value. We actually do have 3 first-round picks, which isn't bad. They want Derek Lively. You're out of your fucking mind. Let's go ahead and just do this. And how about 2 seconds, right? Oh, come on. Okay, I guess he's not going to happen. Bridges free agent, Kuminga. I mean, any of these guys. Oh, my God. Marjan Beauchamp, I mean, I guess, but if I'm going to go Beauchamp, I would rather just try to get Jaime Jaquez Jr. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, but I'm certainly going to attempt to make it happen. And 3 first-round draft picks and 2 second-round draft picks. No. Okay. So I knew our options were going to be limited with the money he was making. I guess Beauchamp might be my best option. Maybe, like, Cam Whitmore has actually been hooping recently. Go ahead and give it a try. I mean... That's a trade exception. I mean, why the hell not, right? He's probably going to develop well. I don't know if it's going to actually be possible. It does not look like it's going to be, unfortunately. Oh, my fucking God. Okay. I just need somebody. Caleb Martin. Oh, Peyton Watson. That's a fun idea. He's only 2.5 stars right now. I have a feeling if I give up a couple draft picks, this could happen. Are we serious right now? Thank you. All right, I know I give up a lot. If it wasn't the final season, there's no chance I'm doing it, but the entire team is now intact, and I will see you guys at the start of the 3rd and final regular season. It always feels good to go into a final regular season with not a lot of pressure to win a championship. Now, clearly, we have not stopped trying. We are definitely competing for a championship, and this team is still really, really good. Not a lot of major changes. Clearly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. On top of that, I didn't really have an option to make many major changes, but this team is fun. I'm excited to see how it works out here, and hopefully go back-to-back. Darius Garland, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cam Johnson. Funny enough, the game actually wants Buzelis to start over Johnson. I'm sticking by literally what I just said. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not going to replace him in the starting 5. I do like how he fits with the group, so he'll stay. Porzingis here at the 4, and then Derek Lively at our center spot. The bench is getting better. Clearly, that's going to happen when you draft a bunch of rookies in the draft. But Thompson is going to still come off the bench. Anthony Black still going to come off the bench. Buzelis still going to come off the bench. Peyton Watson, new addition, and then Paul Reed rounding it out, whose overall hasn't moved. I almost feel like it should be higher, though. Like, not even, like, development-wise. Like, Paul Reed should just be higher than a 76. I truly do believe that. Okay, that is it. This is the final season. I mean, Shake Milton, Isaiah Roby, Aaron Holiday, these guys, I mean, have to be signed. There's no kind of way around that. Have to have enough players on a roster. But, yeah, I'm really pumped up for this final regular season. I think it can be a really fun one. And go back-to-back. I will see you guys at the end of it. Such a great way to wrap up our final season as SGA wins back-to-back MVPs, and we go 67-15 here on the regular season. So just feeling great. On top of the world right now. Hopefully it translates into another championship. Cooper Flagg is in Brooklyn. He is your Rookie of the Year. Jacoby Walter, 6th Man of the Year. Victor Wembanyama, another depoy. Jacoby Walter also wins Most Improved. Those are most improved. This is what I'm talking about. When I look at players, like, no disrespect, just off the top of my head, like, I remember vividly, like, Dyson Daniels going from, like, 4 points to 6 points and, like, 3 rebounds to 4 rebounds. And it's like he's most improved. Don't get me wrong, it's good to see progression, and I like to see it, and it's nice, and I definitely like the names to be mixed up. But this right here, this is a most improved player season. That's what I'm talking about. Good job, 2K. Jalen Green, what? Mike Stafford does win Coach of the Year. Okay, we are clearly the 1 seed with 67 wins. I mean, that was really never in question. Here's a look. Oh, wow, 63 wins for the Atlanta Hawks. Maybe a finals matchup? Who the hell knows? Here is the numbers. SGA, Garland, Porzingis, Johnson, Thompson. Yeah, I mean, when we see leaps out of guys like Thompson in terms of points, Anthony Black, Buzelis, even actually, did he go down? Yeah, he was around the same. Obviously, SGA's number is going to go down, but he still won an MVP. I don't really care. Let's see. Who do we have here in round one? Us in the New Orleans Pelicans. Jamal Murray, Sam Merrill, Keldon Johnson. Was this the team that had Jason Tatum last year? I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up in my head. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I don't really know. But I think we can beat this team easily. No disrespect. But yeah, thanks for coming. Okay, us in the Denver Nuggets. We faced them literally every single season. They haven't beat us once. I don't really think they're going to beat us now. Again, thanks for coming. Oklahoma City, a team that we also faced last year. And actually, we faced them year one, and they beat us. So maybe a little bit of a revenge series. That's still an insanely talented front court, but we've obviously made some moves as well. And we have not lost a playoff game yet. SGA, Western Conference Finals MVP. Ja Morant over there in Toronto is your Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So it's him, Desmond Bain, Mathurin, Tijan Saloon. I cannot pronounce this dude's name. I've tried before. It never goes well. Vucevic, you got Brogdon off the bench, Isaiah Jackson, Derek Jones. Okay, they got a good, decent bench. I think we can win this, though. Are we going to go without losing a game in the entire playoffs? We do. We didn't lose a single game. That is so rare. Never happens. Never does. Beautiful. Such a fun way to end a super fun video. This one was a blast. Of course, I am super happy to get back into the challenges. These are always some of my favorite videos. At some point, I might, maybe it's next year in 2K or whatever it may be, maybe in the summer when we're in the dog days of like August. Everybody's just waiting for a new 2K to drop. I might do this again, and I might do it a 5-year because that makes it a lot harder because clearly nobody's on a 5-year rebuild. And on top of that, I might also just let the CPU draft the whole team. So this was, I guess, maybe a little bit of like a teaser for what could be coming months down the line. So this one is fun, though. I had a blast. It's always awesome winning 2 championships and putting together a really fun team. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like down below. Of course, that would be awesome. Let me know what you guys got in the comments section for video ideas. It's always appreciated. That is it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.